are two reasons why this is true. The first is that we are not very good at figuring out what will make us happy. We think we are. That's the problem. We think we know what will make us happy. If I just had that, if I just did this, if I was just like that, that would make me happy. We think we're good at it. But the bottom line is we are really bad at figuring out what is actually going to make us happy. There's a couple of twin girls, Lori and Reba Chappelle. They're like most twin girls. They can kind of finish each other's sentences and they poke fun at each other, but they're really pretty tight, but they're also very different. Reba is very shy. She's a teetotaler, and she actually won an award for a country music album that she did. Her twin sister Lori, much more outgoing, kind of a wisecracker. She loves strawberry daiquiris. She works at a hospital and dreams someday of getting married and having kids. Behavioral scientists have studied Lori and Reba Chappelle. They did it in a study of twins, and they found the both of them to be, and these are their words, to be optimistic, playful, and happy. They're absolutely happy twins. This is a picture of Reba and Lori Chappelle. They're conjoined twins. They share a skull, part of a brain, blood supply, and they make their way through life exactly like that. And with all of the advances and surgeries, they were asked, would they ever like being separated? Would that make their lives better? And Reba said, our point of view is that no. Straight out, no. Why would you want to do that? For all the money in China, why? You would be ruining two lives in the process. Now I have a question for you. If you could imagine yourself in their situation, would you imagine that you would be optimistic, playful, and happy? And if you're saying yes, then I want you to be more honest with your answer. Because we would look at that and say, oh boy, wouldn't they be happier if? Tell about another guy. His name is Jim McLaren. Jim McLaren grew up dirt poor in the Deep South. His dad left at age 8. At age 14, he took an entrance exam to an elite academy in Virginia, and he was accepted. He got a really good education, had a fairly good IQ, had a really, big and strong body. He got a scholarship to attend Yale, where he graduated with honors and was a 300-pound defensive end on their football team. Big, good-looking, smart, Yale degree, moved to New York City where he was going to work on becoming an actor. This guy had everything going for him in life. This is a picture of Jim today. You see, about 2 weeks after moving to New York City, he was riding his motorcycle home when he got broadsided by a New York City bus. The first responders thought he was dead. They actually did a chalk outline of his body. They took him to a hospital where at first he was declared dead on arrival, but somebody saw a little sign of life. They began to do revival techniques, and sure enough, after a coma for several weeks, he came to. But his leg had been amputated. Jim decided he was going to make the absolute best of it. He was going to go through rehab. He was going to work on artificial limb. He was going to get around, make something of his life. One day, he read an article about the triathlon, and he decided he'd become a triathlete. He'd be a swimmer and a bike rider and a runner. He began to train and train and train. He has finished the New York City Marathon. He completed the Hawaii Ironman triathlon with a 2.1 ocean swim, 112-mile bike ride, followed by a 26.2-mile run, and he finished in the top 20% of all able-bodied athletes. And then he was in a triathlon in Southern California, and he got hit by a van while riding a bike. He was thrown off of his bike. He hit a signpost, shattered vertebrae in his neck, and he lost the use of his legs and arms for a while. He finally got use of his arms back, but he can't walk. He was interviewed recently, and Jim McLaren said these words, "I'm so grateful for what has happened to me. I am so grateful at what has happened to me. I wouldn't change a thing. Without them," get this, "without them, I wouldn't be as happy as I am today." I can't help but think that the Chappelle twins' lives, Jim McLaren's life, reveals to us that we don't have a really good idea of what it actually takes to make a happy life. Because no doubt if we were drawing up a list, being physically capable and healthy and independent would probably be a part of what really led to a happy life. But these people don't have it, and they're thrilled with their lives. They're happy. How many people do you know that have all that stuff and they're not happy at all? I've been doing what I've been doing for a long time, and the number of healthy, beautiful people with good bank accounts, great jobs, awesome home, cool cars, beautiful kids, exotic vacations, that trot into my office and say, "I don't like my life," has grown beyond my ability to even remember. Jeremiah 17 and verse 9 puts it this way, "The heart is deceitful above all things and beyond cure. Who can understand it?" See, our hearts fool us. We think we know what will make us happy. If we go that way, life will be good. And yet we make so many decisions that don't lead to happiness, they just complicate our lives. I've heard so many people say, "Well, I have to walk out of my marriage because I'm just not happy." Well, you know what? I got caught up in an affair because I just wanted to be happy. How many people bought this impulse item or went into debt over that particular thing because they thought, if I get that, you know what, that's going to make me happy? How many people I've talked to that have gotten up in lifestyles of partying and carousing and experimenting with all sorts of things because they were looking to be happy. They lived with a deep-seated belief that they've got to be happy. And since they know what will make it, they will pursue it. And yet time and time again, they didn't get what they were looking for. We're just not very good at figuring out what's actually going to make us happy. There's a second reason why if we make happiness our ultimate goal in life, we'll never really find it. And I put it this way. We lose sight of the fact that happiness is really a result of pleasing God. Run that one by the average person on the street, see how much buy-in you get. Happiness is just kind of a result of pleasing God. Here's how the scripture puts it. To the one who pleases him, God gives wisdom, knowledge, and what? Yeah. He gives happiness. And I know some people object and they say, wait a minute, I know people not pleasing God, yet they look so happy. There have been times in my life I haven't pleased God. And maybe I'm not right now. I think I'm happy. Maybe we need to make a distinction between passing pleasures and genuine joy.